What up, friends? Welcome to another episode of Random Ink, in which I randomly ink an object. This time what we're gonna do is ink this. Let's get started. I'm starting to just look at the shapes that are more at the front, which is the orange. It's more at the front for me. I'll just start to draw it. I may try to vary this series and not just do stuff directly with ink, but rather do try to place some guides for me so that it's not completely suicidal if I'm drawing something that has many elements in it. But for now I think it's okay, I can handle this. So this is what I'm drawing now, is the shape of the orange. And you see, I'm not worried about making the circle too accurate because it isn't. That's the cool thing about fruits. You can kind of warp them and it'll still look pretty okay. Let's zoom in a bit. It will still look okay because it's an organic shape that isn't really too accurate in real life anyway. So now I'm going over to the banana. So the thing is, it's gonna come all around until here, somewhere like this. And I need to get this curve of it. Curves in general aren't that difficult to draw as long as you get the right direction of the use of your hand. So if I'm drawing a curved line like this, I'm gonna come at it like that and not like this, because that's stupid. And I'm just gonna go all the way around and back to the point I marked here. And it's okay if it's not anything in the drawing doesn't turn out to be accurate. That's actually pretty. It's good. It can benefit you. If it's not too accurate, then you can give it some character. And a lot of artists have in their style a built-in inherent quality of inaccuracy, and not everyone's interested in making their style realistic. Actually, it's not only that people that can't draw accurately don't. A lot of people actually like their style to be inaccurate and very all over the place, and I think some of the more interesting artists are like that. I'm curious to know, what do you prefer? Would you prefer being able to, if you aren't, would you prefer being able to draw really accurately, or do you like to have a style that's very unique to you, like let's say, like The Simpsons or Diary of a Wimpy Kid, things like that, that are more not realistic, that's for sure. I think my opinion about realism is, now I finished with the shape and I'm going to just add some details here. My opinion about the realism thing is that sometimes I see drawings and paintings that are hyper-realism, and it took them hours to finish them, and I look at them and I'm like, what's the point? I mean, I do appreciate it as an art and the effort, but all I can think to myself is, why go through all of that when it ends up looking like a picture? You see what I mean? I know it's really hard and it takes a lot of patience, and I do appreciate that, but if you're gonna do a painting that looks like a picture, better take a picture, That's what I think. It's pretty harsh, I know, but I prefer that, because if I'm going to paint something, I'd rather it has some character that I give it, that I embed into it, and not have it be really, super realistic and just like a picture, basically. Okay, now we're getting to the glass. This is a little more difficult, but I'll try and get it somewhat accurate. So it starts around here from what I see, and it goes down about the same line of the bottom part of the orange. This is the things you want to look for. So I'm going like this, and that's it, done. Just gonna draw the bottom part here. And then on the other side you want to get it symmetrical to this one. I'm definitely not really accurate here, but that's okay. Symmetrical like this, and then we have the upper part here. I hope it'll end up looking okay. Now remember, if I would use guidelines, it will definitely end up more accurate. But that's the whole point of this exercise. And as I said, I will vary it. I will do some with guidelines, maybe, because why not? It has this line going across it here. This part, all the bottom part should definitely be more curved. This is my mistake here. This is my key mistake here. Now for the handle. I'm going to go like this and pull a line not from here but a bit above that one, down like this. And this will indicate the curving shape of the handle. Drawing this on a Strathmore watercolor paper, so I may end up coloring it with watercolor. Let's draw the inside of this part also. The glass turned out terrible. Yeah. And here we go, like that, because it's transparent. And here we go, like that, because you're supposed to see this inner side here. And there you get the transparency effect. What else? You can kind of see this, the place where this meets this part of the glass, so I can get that in. And this one you can just continue it very lightly. And we're done basically with the shapes. So now I will just do some of the shadows and darker areas. The tip of the banana is a bit darker, sorry. Now it's morning time. It's around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. and I find that I prefer to draw and paint and do all the artistic stuff that I do on the early in the morning. I mean, this is not really early in the morning, but definitely not noon and later. I think it's a fear I have that my creative juices will not work in these hours. I'm not sure about other people. I know some people like to draw at night, definitely. This is basically the area of the cast shadow that these objects cast on the floor. This one should have a very bright one because it's transparent, so translucent. And then I can just go in and fill it up with cross hatchings. I want to go in this direction so you are able to see it. If this is a preparation for a watercolor painting, I don't really need to go into all of those details. I mean, I can definitely avoid sketching out the shadow, but I'm not sure, and the purpose of this video is to show you a full inking process. So we'll go with it, and it definitely can be painted later on, and all the shadows and cross hatchings will add character to it. So that's totally okay. I think a part of finding, let's say more defining your own style in art in general, is actually just trying a whole lot of things and seeing what's fun to you, because I think that's the key, because what's fun to you, for you to do, as long as it ends up looking good, generally speaking, I think that's your style right there. It's not necessarily, it's something I'm struggling with now, like finding my style, understanding what I like the most, and the more I do this, the more I learn that There is no such thing as like a style that's 100 unique yours in general. I mean, there are people that have that, but generally speaking, it's more like you work a lot until you find what works for you, and that's your style. And for some people, it's going to be very distinct, and for some people, it's just going to look pretty regular in many senses, or not too different from other people. But when other people look at your paintings, they can recognize, they can tell that you have something unique of your own, because it doesn't look like anything else. So there's not too much to worry about here. I like ink and watercolor. That's like my style, you know. I like to not use too many colors because I'm not good at using too many of them. Stuff like that. Okay. Now, all this side of the banana also has a shadow on it. I will make it in a different direction just to distinct it from the cast shadow on the floor. And I'll make it less dense than the previous cross-hatching pattern because it's brighter. And I think that's it, looking good. We can add some more blemishes. What would you call these? Like the marks on the banana. We can add more of these if we want to. The thing is that the pattern itself of the skin of this thing will set the shadow, so you don't need to worry too much about cross-hatching it like with the banana. You just make the dots more denser in this area, and you get shadowing. And yeah, that's it. Don't want to overwork it for no reason, and I may paint it later on. Let me know what you think. I kind of like it, and it can be really nice to just set up a few stuff and just paint them, just see where it goes. Friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Random Ink. If you have any comments, feedback, stuff you think I can improve, or stuff that you want to see, let me know. I need your feedback to improve. Also, don't forget to follow me on Snapchat and Instagram, where I share behind the scenes and stuff you do not get to see here. I hope to see you soon in another video. Have an amazing day, and until then, take care.